If you want to hold people's attention, whether in a video or a tweet or a blog post or whatever piece of content, I'm going to give you 4 specific ways that you can do that. Now, this comes from a recent video from Dan Koe, which was a very long video, and so I'm just summarizing it for all you lazy people that want it in just a couple of minutes. So, the first way to hold people's engagement is to, and by the way, I've failed to mention that I made a video before from the same video summarizing how to get people's attention in the first place. So once you get people's attention, now you want to hold people's attention. So number one way to hold people's attention is to put everything in terms of a story, right? It's just a structure of how you deliver information. The story starts with the setting, what it was before the thing happened, and then a problem comes up, and then you have to go out and solve the problem, and then you encounter all these roadblocks along the way, and then you have some epiphany about how to solve the problem, and then you use that new information, and then you do solve the problem, and here's how great your life is as a result, right? That's the basic structure of a story, and we humans are evolved to find that kind of structure very, very compelling, and we just stay listening, and we'll listening for hours. That's why if you go on a Netflix binge, that's why. It's because it's a bunch of stories that are interesting to you. The second way is to break up the material. What you really don't want is academic style writing. You don't want it to look like a college textbook because that takes a lot of effort and it bores people easily. Instead, you want to break things up. And the way that you can break things up is instead of having long paragraphs, you have things like bullet lists. You have line breaks. So you'll have just 1 or 2 sentences per line and then you'll have a line break. Or you can break apart sentences using parentheses or using dashes, or I like to use ellipses, the little 3 dots. I do that a lot. And then the third way is to use novel perspectives. So chances are there's a lot of people out there in whatever topic you're talking about that are all kind of saying the same things. And if you can bring some kind of novel perspective to that, maybe bringing in something that you learned from some other discipline or from some other field of information and somehow apply that to whatever you're doing, then now you have a novel perspective, or you just have a different opinion than most of the other people out there. Well, that gets people to listen because they're hearing something that they haven't heard before. And then finally, the fourth thing is that people don't really care so much about what you have to say as much as how it makes them feel. So try to target making people have that kind of emotional roller coaster ride. And specifically, Dan mentions 3 different feelings that you want to create in people. So number 1 is a feeling of knowledge or clarity. You want them to feel like they know more than they did before, or they have more clarity about what they need to do than they did before. This is the education piece. The second is inspiration. You want to jog people's minds and get them to think of new ideas and get them to be excited about whatever the topic is. And then the third one is entertainment. So you want to just make people have fun, right? You want to tell jokes or say something funny or a very interesting story. Those are all entertainment. So if you can make people feel educated, inspired, entertained, then they're much more likely to engage with your content and you're not going to lose them. So hope that was helpful. If so, give it a like, subscribe, all the normal stuff, and I'll see you soon.